Hello, I'm Melissa Croker, and today I'm going to show you how to make refrigerator dinner rolls. First, you want to gather all your ingredients, which I have done, and all your utensils, your dough hook, and your mixer. You're going to take your dough hook and put it in your mixer so that it's in there, and then you are going to take a fourth of a cup of vegetable oil and put that into your mixer. Then you're also going to want a half cup of sugar, making sure to scrape off the top with either your finger so you have exactly a half cup, which also goes into your mixer. And I want to close that up so you don't get stuck in it. Then you are going to add your egg. Making sure not to get any shell into your. You're also going to get a large measuring cup and put 2 cups of water in it. If you let your water warm up first, often you can get water that is hot enough straight out of the spout. But you need your water between 110 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're gonna make sure that it's that hot, because any hotter and it will kill your yeast, and colder it won't help your yeast as much as it should. That's right at 110, so that's good. Then you're going to put that in your mixer with the other ingredients. Then you are going to get your yeast. And we need 2 tablespoons of yeast. Make sure to scrape off the top of your yeast so it's nice and even. And put that into your bowl. I also like to use an ingredient called dough enhancer, which just helps your dough. It's not necessary, but it is helpful. And so when figuring out how much dough enhancer, if you happen to be using it, you go by your amount of flour that your recipe calls for and divide by 4. So in this case, the amount called for is 6, so you're going to put 1.5 tablespoons of dough enhancer into your mixer. At this point, I'm going to raise the mixer and mix it up just a little bit. and then I will let it sit for 5 minutes. I'm gonna let it sit for 5 minutes, which just allows the dough, allows the yeast to go and increase and rise. Make sure not to add your salt before this point. A lot of recipes will tell you to add your salt, but you don't want to add that because that kills your yeast, and you don't want it to kill your yeast. You add your sugar and your egg because the proteins and the sugar allow your yeast to grow, and your warm water activates your yeast. And you can use this process for any bread recipe. And if your recipe calls for milk, a helpful tip is that 1 minute of microwaving per each cup of milk you have. So, end of our 5 minutes. And now at this point, we want to add our salt. Which we need 2 teaspoons. Make sure to use teaspoons and not tablespoons, or tablespoons and not teaspoons, because those can be confusing. And then we're gonna mix it up a bit. And then we're gonna start adding our flour. With the flour, you don't necessarily want to add exactly the amount the recipe says. If you added the exact amount the recipe called for, you would get every different kind of result, from too much flour to way too much flour or way not enough flour. It just doesn't work. But you can use the amount it calls for as sort of a guideline. So we're first going to start with putting half the amount it calls for. So in this case, that is 3 cups. And you do kind of want to keep track of how much you're putting in. So even it off is always good. And then you're going to just put that straight into your bowl. And we're going to start it and mix it. Once it has it mixed in enough, you can begin to add more flour. So I'm at 4 cups. And just wait till it gets all mixed in. And I'm just going to add that. As you can see, it's starting to look more like dough, but it's not there yet. most of that cup, but not all yet, because I want to make sure I don't add too much. Because too much flour is not a good thing, and you can always add a bit more, but you can't take any out. And then I'm going to add the rest of that cup in. You can tell that it is not there yet. What you want to do is you want to get it to the point where the flour scrapes the sides by itself without going overboard. Where the dough scrapes the sides. So then the bowl will be relatively clean. And you never want to add too much at once. So this is my 6th cup that I'm continuing to put in. Just kind of gradually add it. Let it sit while it mixes up more. Possibly turning up the speed a bit, but on this mixer 2 is about right. Sometimes you want it a bit higher, but not much. Just a little bit more flour, and we're just about there. And a little bit more. Okay, so it's not perfect, but you can see how it scraped the sides, so there's not a lot on the sides. I'm going to add just a little bit more because it's not quite right, but you also don't want it rising up on the top of your mixer like it's doing right to me right now, so I'm going to shut it off, and I am going to grab a scraper and push all of that dough down so it's not on top. And then I'm going to start it back up again. And if you have some vegetable spray, that works really well. Vaseline would be my personal preference. But and I just want to scrape it down. And as you can see, it just kind of just rises back up. But we're short, it's kind of sticking to the sides just a bit, so I'm just going to shake a bit more flour in. I'm just going to put the rest of that in. And it's all mixing up. So it looks like dough. And it's gonna spin like this for 8 to 10 minutes, and that will knead the dough for you. So it's all kneaded and wonderful. And instead of making you watch 10 minutes of it spinning, I'm just going to turn the video off and turn it back when the 10 minutes are up. As you can see, the dough has risen and been kneaded, and you can see kind of what I meant by cleaning the bowl. In places it completely cleaned it, and it doesn't always completely clean it, but it didn't today, but it will scrape the bowl and pick up a lot of the loose stuff hanging. So I'm just going to lower the bowl now and scrape off the top of my dough hook so I can get at it more easily. And I'm just going to lift and turn and get it off. Then I'm going to take my whole bowl along with my dough scraper over to where and my spray, and I'm going to spray the area where I'm going to be working with, so it's Vaseline. It's the best stuff I've worked with, and I'm just going to scrape everything off out of my bowl. And then get my hook out of my dough, and it should come relatively clean, but not completely. And just set that off to the side and spray my dough onto my area I have sprayed. And we'll set my other stuff to the side. If you have a stool or a chair you want to sit on, that is great, because you're going to be sitting there for a little while and you just kind of want to get your dough ball into a pile. You also want to spray your pan. I have a 10 by 16 pan, which I can put 4 by 8 across. So, and then I'm just going to spray my pan so they don't stick after I baked them. And then I am just going to shape my dough. I'm just going to take little chunks of my dough, and I am going to shape them about the size of ping pong balls. And you kind of want them to smooth out on top, and you're just going to place them in your pan. And what you can do is you can take them and you kind of want to push them into themselves so then they're nice and smooth on top. They don't have to be exact. And they're gonna grow yet, so don't be worried that they're too small. Just push the outside into the middle and kind of pinch the bottom so it stays. The next step in the process would be to put the rolls in a warm place on top of your oven. On top of your stove will often do nicely. I had some extras, dough balls. Normally you'll get about 32 rolls, and then you're gonna leave these in a warm place for about 2 hours or until they're doubled in size, and you'll be able to tell that they're done when if you push your finger into them, they don't bounce back. If I push, it just goes back. You'll be able to tell that they are done when they do not do that anymore. So, I'm just going to leave them here, and then you might want to preheat your oven to 850 degrees, and then you'll put them in. At this point, we can tell that they're done because we poke it, and it doesn't go all the way back. It doesn't just pop back as it would have. So then we're gonna stick them in the oven.
What? Well, that's level 4. Oh, how many? Let's go for 8.
So these are gonna be in there for 8 minutes, and then we'll see how they are. So this is how you tell that the rolls are done. If they come out of the pan nice, they're done. If they don't, you should put them back in. And these are, or the bottoms are also nice and brown.
Got a couple upside down.
And if you have some upside down, just flip them right side up. And then you're going to take some butter and a brush and just paint the tops of them with some butter. And that gives them a nice shine and keeps them soft. Oops. And they're done. So these were baked for 16 minutes and they look gorgeous.